See, I told you, Joe, that I'm not interested in winning a war or contest with you, Jim Riley, Joe Zillig, Harry Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Dave, Rita Quinlan, Elton Anderson, Don Wiley, 1961 Oyster Cracker Man, Bitted Bat 4, Blue Boy Boxes, GPS Passel, Robo, Rapist Knight, Red Randy, Red Gordon, and Ellery's, Karen Foster, Country and Western, and your All-American Antilla Fraud there. And so, Karen, Joe, Bernard, and your team. You see that there? That's Navy. You know, they have seen the theater of war already. They've seen it. Even in Aurora, they've seen it. And so, Joe, Karen, if you're going to sit there and boast your hillbilly hick Indian ways and sit there and keep stamping that Z for Zillig or E for Ellery and the shit mess they all made with their cowboy country and western, they get to prove something about you all while you're boasting about how great and bragging about how good Perlita is and all that. So if you're going to make it a contest, Karen, and you're going to supposedly deliver this religious military lesson over and over and over again and be a hypocrite with your friends picking street to make a street, this is where the Navy, the firefighters, doctors, teachers, the military branches of the world, NATO, you guys are getting, the group of you are getting your answer, Taco Joe, Indian Joe, about how the destructive wake that you constantly put through, whispering faggot to Fairmount. They get to prove something about you all as you supposedly won the contest there, Joe. Guess what they get to prove about you, Joe? And Ellery, after your little terrorist attack on hospitals and schools and all that. Now you guys are so proud to be that way, cowboy, country, and western. See, the Navy and the Coast Guard and the police officers of San Diego and the firefighters and doctors, if they team up with the FBI, CIA, and the tech companies, they get to prove something about you, Joe and Dave and Perlita, about how fake you all are and your destructiveness all over the planet, how big of a rapist Joe is, and a piece of fucking shit. Joe, you're not God, you're a fraud. So they get to prove, Joe, as you've turned it into a contest, whispering faggot of lies, Bernard, how big of brats, spoiled, stupid, that you were out here, Joe and Karen, and how you destroyed everybody's life. So they're getting you all set in there, fake Jehovah Joe and the Indians of whispering and faggotry. And then, you get to destroy your own home, Karen, for being a dumb shit and not following lessons with that man. Because you want to keep protecting the cowboy hillbilly rapist of child, all that shit that he did. So guess what? As you all sit there and boast about how great a cowboy hillbilly western you are and Indians, Karen, Joe, and Bernard, Dave, the Navy and them get to prove how fucking big a dumb shit you are, how fraudulent you are, Bernard, how big a terrorist you are, how stupid the Antilla Man is for, doing what you guys do with the swapping, gets to prove your terrorist attack on hospitals and schools, and get to prove how fucking dumb your way of living and your seesaw 3 or 4 times in a row, stealing everybody's shit and making everybody's life miserable, Ellery and Joe, you are, Indian man. Because when people tell you something, Joe and Karen, you should fucking listen to it and take that advice instead of stealing and lying and ruining what was already set in out here and given to the children just so you can sit there and mock and boast about how great you think you fucking are about country and western and Indian shit. So, shit-stained Robo Knight, Dave, Joe, they gave it to you, Perlita, and your destructive little temper tantrum. But guess what? The Navy and them who've seen the theater of war and those military soldiers that are sick and tired of dealing with the types of you get to prove something about your mockery and boast, Joe, about how big of a fake Jehovah God you are with those Negroes and those cults, and how stupid you all are for doing what you've done out here, coming out here, not knowing what's really going on, and then, priding Joe on the rape and murder of his own grandchildren.